Oh my
I don't
gosh.
care what Houston did yesterday. They're going to go get their Letterman jackets again. The Indianapolis Colts are 2-6 against the Titans since Pat McAfee came up here and did his wrestling announcement. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, they haven't had back-to-back winning seasons since I was a senior in high school.
What's up, Titans fans? Maximus Titan Fan here, coming at you live with the Titan Fan Battle Podcast, thanks to the Fan Battle Sports Network. I got our special guest here. I'd like to introduce yourself, man.
Man, it's an honor to be on the show, man. My name is Courtlandt Griffin, writer, analyst for the three-point conversion, and also super Homer Titans fan. So I'm happy to be on a Titans podcast, man.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. And as y'all know, my co-host over here.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. Flame Douglas, man. Off the hate and never duplicated, man. Tighten up.
There we go. All right, now we're officially off. We have to talk about a few things. Unfortunately, I was under the weather, so I had to kind of take a step back, but there was some crazy stuff that happened while I was under the weather. Titans guys, what you doing, man? Nicholas Petit Ferrer. We'll start with that. Man, got suspended for 6 games for gambling while on the Titans facility. He wasn't actually betting on the NFL, but he was betting inside the Titans facility. Courtlandt, I got to ask you, as an NFL guy, what's your take on that?
The one thing that I guess I find a silver lining is the fact that he wasn't betting on NFL games and he also wasn't betting on the team. This could have easily been Isaiah Rodgers betting on whether or not Jonathan Taylor was going to go over 100 yards. This could have been Jameson Williams, betting on Lions games or betting on other NFL games. This could have been Calvin Ridley betting on NFL games. So the fact that he's a young guy, second year in the NFL, he's a pretty clean-cut guy off the field. This is his first ever incident. He didn't have any incidents in college. It's a live and you learn situation. He's out for 6 games. It's not like he got a half a year. It's not like he got a full season. So as long as Tennessee, as long as we can, I would say as long as we can hold serve, and be at least average, at least the right type of position, be average. He doesn't have to be a world beater. They don't have to be, all pro. Just be average until NPF gets back. I don't see this as a problem. Like he learned from it. Vrabel is a damn good coach, and he has these guys trained a certain way, and they understand when they make a mistake, you can't make that same mistake twice. And we haven't really seen that with the Tennessee Titans. And honestly, if you look at our team, we've been a pretty clean-cut franchise as far as off-the-field issues outside of a couple of token guys, the Kenny Bretts, the Pac-Man Jones of the world, right? So it's not like we've had these kind of issues versus other franchises in the league. So I don't view this as much of a problem, right? Like, of course, it's going to get lumped in with the Isaiah Rodgers and the Jameson Williams and those guys, but when you isolate his situation, it's not as bad as the optics may seem.
I 100% agree with that, man.
I do too.
Yeah, there's no way you can compare the two in my eyes, because one's betting on their own sport even. And another thing is, I read. I wish I could remember where I read it. I think I read it on ESPN, but they did like a test or a survey of the players of the understanding of the rules about gambling, and I think something like 70% of them didn't pass that test or didn't quite understand exactly what the rules were or how they worked. Do you think maybe that's what this was a case of, that he just didn't know he was allowed?
It's part of the league. Like, so when you put new rules in, right? And this is the kind of the issue that I've had with the league. They implement new rules. You go to the off-season, managers meetings and things of that nature, owners meetings. You pass all these rules, and we don't take time, and I say we, fans included, right, to actually litigate these things and put the right verbiage in, so these guys understand exactly what they're getting into when they come into the season. Because as far as their understanding, it's legal. We can sports bet. I can go on my phone and I can bet prop bets, parlays and all these things, and there's no problem, right? Like this is not taboo anymore. I can bet and there's no problems, correct? But the NFL has now stated you can't do it inside of a team facility. Yeah, so if I'm in the parking lot outside of the team facility, or if I'm still within, let's say I'm connected to the team Wi-Fi. Like when I went to training camp, I was on the Titans Wi-Fi network. I didn't disconnect from the Titans Wi-Fi network until I was a mile and a half away from Baptist Sports Park. Yep. So if I'm at the stoplight at the end of Metro Center Boulevard, right, which is, if you're from Nashville, you know where that is.
Yeah, for sure.
And so if I'm at the end, if I'm at the stoplight and I'm still connected to the Wi-Fi, it's going to ping as if I'm at the Titans facility. I just think there needs to be some, these guys need to understand, like, hey, if you're going to bet, make sure you're off the premises, make sure you're not connected to anything team related, and make sure you're not doing it from anything team related. They'll do it on the team plane. And this is also, I feel like this is where team brass and front office guys come in and say, hey guys, as far as I'm concerned, as long as we are in this NFL season, I don't want you going on Caesars, DraftKings. I don't want you to have nothing to do with sports bet. Because if we can keep our guys clean and on the field, then we're fine. You make millions of dollars. You're not going to miss out on a couple grand here and there, a couple $100 here and there.
Really, they just need to just take the apps off their phone, man. Just take it all off your phone. Hey, off season, that's your time to gamble, man. But not at the facility either.
Right. You got basketball, you got baseball, you got hockey when you ain't playing football all year round, right? You got college football when you're not playing football to go do all the betting you want. But as far as in the NFL, as far as the Titans are concerned, I do feel like Rand Carthon, Mike Vrabel, and those guys are going to probably put something in place to kind of keep our guys out of the league's office when it comes to these betting issues.
I agree with that.
Sure.
Flame, you have anything to add to the MPF issues?
Man, I just hate it. I mean, I do agree that it's kind of small. It's not as big as a lot of Titans fans making it. I hate it happening because we started over with our offensive line, which was, like I say, was the worst part of our team last year. Our offensive line was definitely our weakness. And, we need these guys to gel. These guys, this is going to be these guys' first year playing together. So, I mean, it's not like he can't practice or anything. So, he's still going to be there with the team. He's just going to miss those first 4 games. And I think we'll be all right. I hate it happened to MPF because I did say I expect him to take the biggest leap up from everybody who played last year. So it's kind of unfortunate. But like you said, man, he'll be there. It's a learning experience. Now he know next time he better wait till his ass get home and make that bet, and don't make it after you just got through bench pressing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know like a lot of people are saying, we need to bring in somebody from the outside to try to fill the role because we don't really have a lot of depth on the offensive line.
Yeah.
I took a look, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. There's only really 2 or 3 big names out there, but they're not really names anymore, if you ask me. Yeah. You know what I mean? George Fant's out there, but God bless, for what he's going to cost, I just don't think he's, especially for 6 games, that just don't make sense.
And especially if we still in the back of our mind thinking we're going to sign DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Hoping that we sign DeAndre Hopkins. So
I would say this, they drafted a lot of people, if you know, right? I'm pretty sure you guys know I'm a draft guy. So I look at everything pretty much in depth. And on this Titans roster, there was one guy who was a 2nd-round grade. And I wasn't the only draft expert that had him as a 2nd-round grade, and that's Jalen Duncan. Had he not injured the hamstring and didn't have the ankle issue, the foot issue at the combine, this is a guy that they were saying was going to be an early day 2 pick. You got him in the 7th round. 6th round, sorry. You got him in the 6th round.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who Mike Vrabel loves. When I was there at training camp, he was pushing him, and he doesn't want to give up. And you can tell he's a coachable guy. He wants to improve. He wants to be better. He's as big and as athletic. And this is kind of hard to – he was standing next to Jeffrey Simmons, and he made Jeffrey Simmons look average. He was standing next to Derrick Henry, and he made Derrick Henry look average. This is a mountain of a man. He's big.
What about that? I mean, I hate to be the devil's advocate, but I have to be because I didn't really have a lot of faith in him based on what I read. I'm not a guy that's out there. I can't, I don't have like media access. Okay. But my point is that I can't get as close as you can and see what these guys really are like. All I can do is like read and take my own opinion from that. So my opinion from him was that, maybe had some ethic issues, and that's kind of why he fell down the draft. I think he had some bad interviews, and I don't really, I don't really know the guy that much because he played for Maryland, to be honest. I'm an SEC guy. So, again, but you're kind of helping me here in the fact that he did have some stuff that was going on at Maryland that kind of came up. And, of course, during the draft process, this stuff comes up, right? We saw Laramie Tunsil literally almost fall out of the 1st round because of a gas mask video that popped up, right? Yeah. We never heard anything. This is a clean-cut guy at Ole Miss. And then all of a sudden, here comes this video. These things come up. I don't think those are indictments on the player, right? At 18, I was an 18-year-old athlete. I was a 19-year-old athlete. You make stupid decisions. I got lucky enough to where mine never came out. I got lucky enough to where I skated under it got by. That's not everybody. And the higher profile guy you are, the higher your name is, the bigger your star is, right? The brighter your star is, the more spotlight gets shone on that. Jalen Duncan was a damn good player at Maryland. So he of course got caught up. The thing about him is like I said, is with the Titans situation, if you're trying to sign DeAndre Hopkins, or you're hoping that maybe some of these guys who don't have haven't signed a contract, right? We keep talking about DeAndre Hopkins, but Jarvis Landry is still available, right? There's some guys that are still available that can help this team, and regardless, right? Anything is better. It'd be better, yeah. It'd be better, yeah.
Outside of Traylon Burks and Kyle Phillips, right? And outside of 2 guys. Anything is better than what you have right now. And so, I mean, looking at it, I would rather you go out there and put Jalen Duncan out there at right tackle. You did it with MPF, right? I would rather you put Jalen Duncan out there and say, let's see what we got in this kid. Because we didn't spend a draft pick on him to have him sit on the bench and rock for all year long. And the thing
if he is big as you say, I say plug him. I want to see it. I want to see it.
And the thing is, I think a lot of experts are saying move Devin Brunskill or Daniel Brunskill over to right tackle and then kind of ship and move all these ships.
Yeah,
you've already basically having to reconstruct this
Well, he's a
offensive
good right
line.
guard.
Right.
Leave him at right guard.
Leave him at right guard and don't move him. I know he's a swing guy. He was a swing guy at San Francisco, and he brings versatility and all these things. He was one of the guys. Check out. I wrote an article on. I told people. I said as soon as Rand Carthon signed his contract, I said there's going to be 4 or 5 guys from San Francisco that are going to be in two-tone blue come August, or come off season. He was one of those guys. I would leave him there, and I'm gonna say this too. And you guys may not like it, and some of the viewers may not like it, but if you don't trust Jalen Duncan, I would bring back Taylor Lewan for 6 games.
Guess what? I threw that out there at one point. Depending on what he would require, I'm pretty sure he would be cool with taking a minimum. We're not giving him 10, 15. We're not giving him more than $3 million. Like, you got to come with a discount, Taylor. You come with the hometown discount.
Hey, you sold me on Duncan, man. It's cool. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I love LT. Don't get me wrong. I watch Bussin' with the Boys. I'm a huge fan of Taylor Lewan. I don't know why he gets so much hate in the Titans, but I love Taylor Lewan. But they screwed up.
I'm just saying, like, if you had to have an option as an outside option, George Fant's going to cost you too much money. Jawan James was horrible last year. Like, some of these guys that are going to get thrown, you're going to hear within the next couple of weeks thrown out by some of these talking heads, right? Are you're going to have to go? Fans are going to say yes because fans, right? But as logical fans as we are, and media guy that I am, it's hard. I have to look at these guys and say, okay, well, why aren't they on the team now? If they were that good, then why didn't they get picked up? Jawan James is 31 years old. George Fant he just turned 30. I just turned 30. Me and George Fant are the same age.
Man, y'all making me feel old.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is when we talk about these guys,
I actually think like that.
I understand what
I actually think
I understand.
Like, it's got to be a reason they not on the team, bro. Like, seriously.
Right. So, and like I said, you have familiarity with Taylor Lewan. And the good thing about it is you can move Andre Dillard to the right tackle, which he's a natural right tackle, and bring Taylor Lewan in at left tackle. Because Taylor wasn't bad last year. It just looked bad because he didn't have crap on the other side. Like, I mean, well, he didn't play a lot, and then when he went down and was out.
No, I get what you're saying. With Skaronski sitting next to him, he's gonna look a lot better than
and Dennis Daly was anything. Maximus, I can put you out there. You would have been better than Dennis Daly.
I was gonna say my daughter could have walked better than Dennis Daly, dude.
I told Max, man, it was at one point, bro. I just wish they put Jeffrey Simmons out there instead of Dennis Daly, man. It can't get no worse, bro. Like, it could get no worse than that guy, man.
Because he was horrible. He was horrible. I'm surprised he's still in the league. I would have rather have had Panda out there than had him.
At least he would have had a little bit more hope, man.
Oh man! All right. So now we got to talk about our other problem. If you notice, I switched because this is a much more heinous problem. Allegedly, I'm gonna say that first. Okay, all this is alleged. Okay, I don't know none of this, but allegedly, Hassan Haskins. Well, he was charged with assault by strangulation, which why even have that? Why even have that definition on it?
You can't add she was charged too, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, and let this be a lesson to all you young players and young fellas, just period. Okay, ladies. I'm married, so I have to be careful. But ladies will make you do crazy stuff. Okay, ladies can get in your head and make you do really stupid stuff that you would never normally do just because you're a dude and she's a chick and you like them. Okay, and that's a case of what happened here. I think dude lost his head, wasn't thinking straight. Obviously, he put his hands on a woman, and I don't condone that in any kind of way, if allegedly he did. But if all this is true, in my opinion, he's off the team. What's your opinion?
I said when I first seen it, I was kind of hoping this was one of those shock value headlines. And then, of course, talking to some guys who knew a little bit more on the inside, it was a lot worse than I thought. And so, with him being such a young guy, second season in the league, or I think it's his third year in the league, it's sad. But he might find himself out of the league. We've seen this precedent set. Unfortunately, and I hate to bring it, he's the guy that's synonymous with it, and I hate to bring his name up.
No, you gonna say it, Ray Rice.
Ray Rice. But he's changed, and
I'll
the reason
say
I say
it
that, yeah, the reason I say that is because I've met the guy in person. He's not a malicious guy. He's changed. He's done so many things to advocate and change his image, right? So that's why I hate to kind of bring his name up being synonymous.
Hainsworth is one of those two. I mean, he never did anything crazy like that, but Hainsworth was he had a bad with the thing. But
yeah,
even I've been talking to him online and stuff. I've been watching his Instagrams. If you watch his video, he's a changed. People make stupid mistakes when they're young, just you said, man. I made stupid mistakes when I was young too.
Yeah, but Hassan is a good player. Solid guy, a Vrabel guy, and it just sucks that he got into this trouble. The one thing that I will say is he has a silver lining, kind of a out here, right? Vrabel does like him. He is a good guy. He hasn't. This is not something that he's exhibited. Another guy like MPF, clean cut guy off the field. This is his first ever incident. Now, could he end up off the team? Yes. Conventional wisdom says domestic violence. The way the situation and the heightened ferocity of the situation, right? But for lack of better terms, it says he's going to be released, right?
Yeah.
To me, I know this. I'm probably skipping ahead here. To me, the question is it doesn't hurt the team? Not really, right? You got two or three guys. You got two or three guys on this team that are pretty good, are pretty solid guys, and you just drafted Tajay Spears, who slots in.
I know.
No, go ahead, Flame. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, BT just he just said.
No.
Go ahead.
We was reading the comment. I know, Max. I know you saying is it gonna hurt us, and I kind of feel like it wasn't really gonna hurt us until Max made it. He brought it up how much he attributes to the special teams. Like Max told me, the guy did he lead the league in tackles on special teams, Max?
No, he led the team.
Okay.
I think he had 17 tackles on special teams, and he was really high in kick return average, though. He did have a really nice kick return average as far as the league goes.
Hopefully Tajay Spears can take all that now. So
yeah, and here's the thing: I don't know if they're going to put Tajay. Well, he was working some on punt return. He could work on some kick return, but I will say this: as far as kick return goes, if Kyle Phillips can show that he has sure hand and doesn't drop the ball, he may be able to redeem himself there. I will say that some of the guys that I'm looking at right now, J.D. McKissick is still floating around. He was with Washington last year. He's a shifty guy who can return. He's if you're looking for not a wide receiver, but a dual threat back who can still have something left in the tank, Giovanni Bernard is still out there. If Dontrell is healthy, I can see us bringing Dontrell Hilliard back. He was solid.
All right.
So
yeah, you're making
there's a plethora of guys out there that can take that spot, but that's worst case scenario that Hassan is released. I don't think he's going to be released. Like I said, conventional wisdom says he's going to be released because of the situation. But knowing Vrabel and knowing how they kind of deal, the Titans kind of deal in their own little capsule community type, kind of deal. If he shows that, hey, this was a one-time issue, it was a slip of judgment, I'm remorseful or whatever, he could still find himself on this team. And whether the public hates it or not, whether fans hate it or not, it's not his. It's nothing that he can do about that. The thing he can do is go out there and play football, and that's the only way you can change the outlook on how people look at you in your career. Is go out there and play football and be a productive, football player and keep your nose clean.
Well, honestly, what I was just reminded of was Jeffrey Simmons. I had forgotten all about that, but when Jeffrey Simmons was drafted, there was this story that came out that he was so grateful that he was drafted by a team that was owned by a woman that it felt special to him because of the troubles that he had been in or being accused of or whatever. And and seeing what he does now, I mean, it's just, I'm a huge Jeffrey Simmons fan.
Yeah, same. I was so happy and relieved. The breath of the sigh of relief when he signed his extension was.
Dude, that's all Carthon had to do this year. That's literally, he could have drafted whoever he wanted to after that. I didn't care. I just signed Jeffrey Simmons.
I hit a backflip when I heard he got signed, boy.
Because when I saw Deron, I think it was Deron Payne, got his extension from Washington. I instantly held my head because I was like, man, I don't know if we're gonna pay him that kind of money. Like, I don't know if he's gonna get 19, 20 million a year. Then they came across and I was like, okay, then his cap hit this is minimal. I think it's like $5 million this year. And I was like, man, okay. We might be moving in the right direction. Because if this was the Titans 12. Y'all been Titans fans probably as long as I've been a Titans fan.
Oh yeah.
And I remember when the wallet was tight. I've been a Titans fan since I was.
Talk about the purge after 2000.
Man, I've been a Titans fan since I was 6 years old, and I remember when Samario Rowe left, Javon Kersler, Blaine Bishop,
legends.
It was like. And it was like they was all going to the same teams, like Philadelphia,
the Ravens,
Baltimore,
the Philadelphia, the Ravens,
and Baltimore.
Texans. Even the Texans got a couple of them.
Yeah, man. Baltimore was what killed me because they were our rivals back then, and they were taking our best players, man, like D. Mason.
It killed me to see Steve McNair in that Ravens jersey, man.
Oh my God!
It killed me to see Samario Rowe in that Ravens jersey.
And then the fact that he took it personally and killed us,
he'd come back and stomped us, bro. Oh my God.
Man. And it's like, it feels like we still paying. And I told people that, I said, man, it kind of feels like we still were paying for it until we inducted them to the Ring of Honor. I was like, it kind of felt like we were paying for locking them out of the facility. And now hopefully we've rectified that and hopefully the quarterback woes are over. Because, we sorry, Steve. I promise we sorry.
Yeah. Honestly, and I have to correct myself on a stat. I screwed up, and someone pointed it out on Twitter, and I went back and looked, and I was looking in the wrong stat column. Steve McNair did not have 405 touchdowns in his career. I think he had something like 70, 78 or something like that rushing touchdowns. I had him at like 178 or 278 or something like that.
It don't matter. The man accounted for about 75% of the touchdowns we scored.
Yeah, I was going to say 30,000 yards. I mean, the dude was insane. I don't know why he ain't in the Hall of Fame.
For all the injuries he put up with, dude didn't miss as many games as he should have. If anybody else would have, he was out there, man.
Bro, quarterbacks nowadays, they're like, oh man, my pinky's broke. I can't throw the ball. And he's I got a broken sternum.
I remember my mom, because Dr. Elrod was the team doctor for years when we first came to Tennessee. My mom worked at St. Thomas. So I remember as a 6-year-old kid, my dad, we going to take my mom to, lunch or something, or going to pick her up from work. And you see Steve, and you see George or Eddie, and you see Javon. And so as a 6-year-old kid, I when I tell people I'm a homer, I'm a homer. I saw these guys on the tape tables and going to get treatment, and so it kind of when he died, it hurt me. I cried real tears because a lot of people be like, well, I didn't really, because I watched that show, I watched the episode, y'all were like it kind of feel like you didn't know what you doing. Watched it for so long, but I actually saw these guys. But I actually saw these guys Eddie George. I shook Eddie George hand. I remember taking a picture with him as a kid. So these guys are are more than just football players to me. Like, you know, they were almost like
Yeah.
family because they were up there all the
My
time.
peoples,
so,
yeah.
Like they're more than just football
man.
players to me.
All right, so basically, this is kind of what we do. Usually we have a legend segment. I kind of scrapped that this week because we got you on and we wanted to, and the MPF and the Hassan. I just knew it was going to take up a lot of time.
We slick kind of still did it, man. We just talked about McNair, Samari. You know, we still got our
I was gonna say we did.
Yeah, I mean, I can name if y'all want to. We can. I can name some dudes off the top of my head.
I mean, see what we usually do. We usually pick an offensive and a defensive player, and we talk about their stats, and
I tell you what though,
and remind the kids how much of beast they was because they just became Titan fans a couple years ago. But
I tell you what though, in the spirit of our Legends segment, Legends. Sorry. Then let's special teams. Let's give some love to special teams. Each one of us right now, sit there and think for a minute. Who's your favorite special teams player in the Titans era?
Oh man, I got 3 of them, and it's kind of tied for me. I got 3.
You got 3?
I got 3. Pac-Man Jones.
I got 2. I got 2. I can say was my favorite.
Pac-Man was one of my favorites.
Okay.
He was electric, man. He was one of those guys that even though he was also a shutdown corner for his time when he was healthy, you put him back there on punt return, kick return, and it was he cut left, cut right. People talk about Devin Hester, but I'm like, go back and watch Pac-Man in his prime.
There's a reason they called him Pac-Man.
He was like that. I'm gonna say the best for last. Mark Mariani was another one, man. I loved Mark Mariani.
I love Mark Mariani.
I loved him. But I'm gonna give some love to a guy, arguably the greatest receiver the Titans have ever had, number 85, Derrick Mason. A lot of people don't remember that he was a return ace before he was a receiver. Before he, because Kevin Dyson and
a lot of wide.
He's still
wide outs ain't gonna get back and do that return.
Derrick would get back there, return a kick for 45, go catch you one, go give you 2 receptions for 30, and set you up for Eddie George touchdown. He was a rare guy.
Sure.
I love that guy, man. And it sucked that, of course, he went to. It sucked that he had to end his career in Houston, but
Yeah.
We haven't talked about that.
Titans, man. Well, that was the old Titans. We didn't want to pay our players,
man.
He definitely should have. He definitely should have been on the Titans. But, I gotta go, Mark Mariani. I mean, that was one of the. That dude, he'd take it to the crib, and then I like Pac-Man. But I'm gonna tell you one player that we had on special teams that I had so much hope for, but he didn't really pan out. Man, I just wish Adoree Jackson would have been a little bit more better than he was.
Yes,
I thought that dude was going to be the best kick/punt returner we ever had. His first couple of returns got called back, and it's like he never was the same after that.
Man, if he could have stayed healthy.
I was going to say he was a little small.
A part of me, I know we would have never did this, but a part of me, when I used to play Madden, a part of me would have wished we picked Chris Johnson back here and let him take it.
Man.
Now my age
he
here,
took one career for sure.
My age here is going to show a little bit, and I'm sorry about that. But I'm gonna cover a few of these up because I don't want y'all to see them. But can you see? Can you see whose signature that is?
I can't really see it.
Dang it! It's Rob Baronis.
Oh my God, man!
Rob Baronis.
Okay,
Rob Baronis, man.
I'm thinking straight punt and kickoff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking guys who get the ball.
He had the longest kickoff for forever in the NFL. Held that record forever in the NFL with like a 62-yarder or something like that.
Yeah, just the Colts. That was the Colts.
And he was the number one scorer
I never
for the Titans for a long time. I can't remember who beat him.
I think he still holds the record.
Does he still hold that record? He might still hold that record. Yeah, that Rob Baronis, man. Dude.
Man, RP to Rob, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw two out there. I'm gonna throw two more out there, man. Honorable mentions, man. Kirk Heinrich was
for sure.
The original number 15.
He was so clutch at punt.
Before Brett Kern. Yeah. Before Brett Kern, there was CH, man.
Brett Kendrick. Yeah.
And then Darius Raynaud, man. Darius Raynaud for a short time. He was dangerous.
And since he was dangerous. And since we talking about kickers, besides Rob Baronis, y'all might sound crazy, but I don't know why I like this guy so much. He was clutch to me. My favorite kicker, besides Rob Baronis, was Joe Nedney, man. People sleep on Joe Nedney, man. Joe Nedney was kind of.
I thought you were gonna pop off with Suck Up, man.
Man. Oh, hey, Flame
Joe Nedney, man.
Hey, I'm sorry. If you're going old school, Gary Anderson.
Al Del Greco.
Okay. I'm gonna say Al Del Greco can't be seen in Nashville for a while.
No.
No Al Del Greco.
Yeah, no, man. I'm surprised they didn't burn the number 3 out of
I was gonna say I'm surprised we didn't retire that number just so nobody else could wear it.
Wear it, man. Oh.
Sorry, you brought back some bad memories. Man. I mean, somebody was trashing on me on Twitter the other day and like showed me that 54-0 on New England, and I was like, "You bringing back bad memories? You making me mad."
Trauma, man, trauma.
All right. So, hey, good legend segment, guys. Thank you. Of Courtland, that was freaking awesome.
That was a good one.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right, so my other segment that I like to do on the show is the fan interactive segment. Everybody watching, this is your time. If you want, get on here, throw some comments on whatever. Obviously, I have some comments from some fans that have been asking. Now, as funny as it is, my network, if you follow me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or anywhere, you know I have been talking about DeAndre Hopkins, and I am insanely positive that we're going to sign him. Like, almost stupidly.
Yeah, you can't tell Max that we not going to sign. Yeah. Max is for sure we going to sign him. Like, he probably already got a jersey somewhere.
I'm there with him. I'm there with him.
But my network has asked me, why are the Titans fans so obsessed with signing DeAndre Hopkins? Which I find to be a funny question, because have you seen our wide receiver room?
Right.
Man, that's what I was going to say. Do you know who we have out there catching passes right now? Nick Westbrook-Akina is a starting wide receiver for the Titans, man.
You know what's funny? Though? And this is not to sound like a homer, but this the very fan bases that are asking why the Titans so obsessed with DeAndre Hopkins are the very fan bases that are hoping that the Titans don't sign him so that their team can.
Exactly.
Like, Kansas City Chiefs fans, sure. I've heard more Kansas City Chiefs fans saying, I hope he comes to Kansas City. I've heard more Baltimore Ravens fans say, I hope he comes to Baltimore, than I've heard Tennessee Titans fans obsessing over DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, well, that's because it's just the same as that they always with the trade rumors of Derrick Henry, because they want us to get rid of Derrick Henry so bad.
They want us to suck so they can.
Because Derrick Henry's just like beat him up for the last 4 years, and I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You should be thanking us that we kept Derrick Henry hidden behind other people for 2 years. But
they don't want.
Sorry, that was an easy question.
It's hard for other AFC South fans. It's hard for other AFC South fans to accept the fact that the Titans been the best team in the division for the last 6-7 years, man. That's a hard one to swallow if you're a Colts fan or Texans fan or a Jags fan, man. So they want us to go back to the depths, the pits. So, but it ain't gonna happen, man. Right.
And outside of VT, I'm pretty sure Houston fans would hate to see him wear Oilers blue.
Yeah, you're talking about wearing the Oilers away game, right? Yeah. Talking about
it's coming.
So I would love to see DeAndre Hopkins in a Houston Oiler jersey.
I'm just waiting for him to drop him. I'm just waiting for him to drop him because I'm hoping is that we do the white shell so that we can bring back, the 1999 to 2000s, look, as well as possibly do a 2-in-1, have an alternate shell. Because I saw this concept online. It was Derrick Henry, but it was the white helmet with the flames. It was just the flames, not the fireball. Just the flames on the side of the helmet.
I seen that.
The white helmet. I was like,
that was lit.
I would love to have that as an alternate helmet, just as an alternate helmet with the uniform we have now.
Yeah, I agree. That
would have been lit.
I'm a big sword guy, so I love this. I love the sword, and I wish that they would bring the sword more into the mix of it. So that's where I'm at. I wish they would bring the.
You don't like the flaming thumbtack?
But I do. I mean, yes, I like the flaming T and all, but I like the sword, man. I'm a sword. See, I like or what? I'm backwards,
see,
but
you know what? I saw when Rand Carthon.
I got me one right here.
I gotta get You see, I gotta. Me and my wife we gotta get a house, and then I can.
It happens, man. Yeah, I'm in transition too. Yeah, this is a small area.
But I have been seeing more of the T hats. Like it's just a T, like a cursive T.
Yeah.
And Rand Carthon had one on at camp, and I seen it, and I was like, that one kind of tough too. But it also made me think, man, teams don't do stuff without reasoning behind it. So it kind of made me wonder, like, are we going to get some tweaks? Yeah, we're going to get some tweaks to the uniform because that T is nice. I don't know. I like simplicity too.
It's soft, it's soft.
You're going to make me go look that one up. I hadn't seen that T hat.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
At press conference, it's just a basic T. Like, it's just a...
Yeah, it's just like... And it's got like a little curl on it. Little tiny curl on it. But and he's got them in different colors too. Like if you see him in the... Did you watch the promo video? I think in 2 or 3 different shots in that. I think 2 or 3
like
different
navy
times
blue with the white. He had the white with the navy blue.
Red.
He had the white with the
It was I was impressed. I was like, I see you. I see you, Rand. Yeah, and he I have to say that, by the way, because John Robinson, no offense to stuck up, I don't know what to say, blue collar people. I don't know. I've never been a preppy guy. I've never cared much of what I looked like. So I've never been a preppy guy, but I'm not a blue collar, white collar, or whatever. White collar.
You're not a white collar guy, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm messing it all up. I appreciate you being here for me, Courtland. But yeah, dude's got some threads, man. Like he kills when it comes to dressing, man.
And
when he showed up at the draft.
The shoe game is ridiculous. I'm telling you. I'm a Jordan Nike guy, but I ain't want to stand next to him at camp. I was like, because the Carolina Titans, Carolina blue, like the kicks was. I was like, oh, okay. Hey, look, what you got over there? I don't want to be embarrassed.
That Navy's nice,
man. I'm telling you. And I like him, dude. He carries himself with so much. It's rare that you see like John Robinson when he first came. It was like, man, yeah, John Robinson, because we were so used to
crap.
Yeah, so
right, Floyd Reese.
Yeah, right.
I remember.
So when you see Rand, it's the smile, it's the way he carries himself, the energy, right?
He just got a whole
And you can tell the team picks up on Vrabel very well. This team is very much so like Vrabel has his hands in his team. And so when people say like he's not a top 10 coach in the NFL, I'm like, I don't know what coaches who you ranking. Because this dude is he's easily top 10. And he might be top 5. But when I look at Rand Carthon and how he approaches free agency, how he approaches players, how the players talk to him, he's been there before. He's been in the NFL locker room, so he's bringing that to this front office. And the guy, like I said, the guy is so polarizing. I'm excited to see because this is just year one, and he's having to clean up the dumpster fire. So I'm excited to see next year when he gets a full season as the GM, what he's going to do. It's going to be fun.
I agree.
It's gonna be fun.
When he's going to have a lot of money to play with, he ain't got
I think approximately 125 million as it sits right now.
Yeah,
we finna have a new stadium, man. Come on, we finna be
new stadium. Approximately 125 million, could be more.
You need to have.
Come on, listen.
Seriously, because
come on, DeAndre Hopkins. We need.
Because I said this on Twitter, and people tried to pack me up. But I said, think about it. If I'm DeAndre Hopkins, I'm signing a 1-year deal for whatever you got left. $6 million, $5 million, $7 million, whatever it is, 1-year deal. And then next year, when I show you who I am, and I'm still DeAndre Hopkins, I'm still
10, 15.
Yep. Oh yeah, hey, give me that
20.
Give me that $20 million a year because it ain't gonna put a dent in you, right? You still got $100 million roughly to spend. You can go rebuild another defense or another offensive line with $100 million.
Give me 3/4 of AJ Brown, and I'll give you $20 million, straight up. And that's another thing too. People need to quit hating on AJ just because we want DeAndre. That you can't. Those two together, I mean, again, you can't compare. That's apples and oranges.
Yeah,
I mean,
DeAndre Hopkins DeAndre Hopkins, if he retired today, is going to camp.
Yeah, for sure. He's getting a gold
AJ
jacket.
still has another, and I love AJ when he was here. I don't dislike him because it wasn't his fault. It's not his fault he wasn't here, or he's not here anymore.
No, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault.
AJ still has to do and prove that he's a Hall of Famer. He has to prove he's on that trajectory.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
you got to be consistent.
Hopkins, as of today,
is already.
Is his resume alone? He's already one of the top
and what's
20 receivers we've ever seen play.
And what's so crazy about DeAndre Hopkins, y'all? He never had a legit quarterback, really, though. I mean, he had Deshaun Watson for a couple years.
Matt Schaub.
Man.
Yeah, Matt Schaub. I mean,
Matt Schaub, Case Keenum. He had Deshaun Watson for a while. Then he goes to not Case Keenum, but Kyler Murray. Colt McCoy in that same stretch. He had Colt McCoy. So
I was gonna say him and Tanny would ball together, man.
And here's the thing. Yeah. Tannehill, here's the thing. If I'm DeAndre Hopkins, I'm not evaluating at this team as Tannehill being a starter. I'm looking at Will Levis and Malik Willis going into next year. Imagine if you put Will Levis.
I'm looking at Will Levis's arm and thinking that kid can't outthrow me, man.
Because I'm like,
I'd be able to.
He might be able to outthrow him.
That's what I'm saying. That's perfect, though. That's what you want.
I mean, I'm just looking at once he puts that touch, when he gets the touch on that ball,
it's velocity.
Yeah,
man.
that zip. He got to get that zip.
I tell you,
he's got velocity. That's the problem. The ball ain't.
Yeah, I know. He needs a little.
It's not in the air long enough because when he throws a deep ball, it's up and down. It's not. He doesn't have that Russell Wilson rainbow shot yet.
He just gotta watch Tannehill for one season. He gonna be all right.
Oh, he's gonna be solid. I love what Levis brings to the table. He just has to get the mental portion of it down. Once he does that,
the mental. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Once he catches up to the game. Oh, and I told people this. Will Levis, the AFC South as a whole, and I know this is a Titans podcast, but the AFC South as a whole could have 4 of the top 15 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Like 4 of them. And here's my thing. I don't need Will Levis to be a top 5 quarterback. If he's just perennial top 15, this is a Super Bowl ready team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like a number one receiver, because at his floor, I feel like Treylon it can be T. Higgins, right? At his floor. If let's just say roughly, if everyone, what everyone is saying about the Titans, right? Let's just say we win 6 games next year or this season. You're a top 10 pick. Guess who you could possibly get as a top 10 pick? Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm okay with that.
Now we'll have to be top 1 or 2 or 3 to get him.
because the
here's
two quarterbacks are going to go 1 and 2.
Here's what
I know. Caleb Williams
and the guy
here's
from
what I've been saying
North
from
Carolina State.
Some draft experts. It's going to be like a run of edge rushers, quarterbacks, and tackles in the first round.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and there's not many teams that would be ahead of us that would need a wide receiver unless Marvin Harrison Jr. is just, top tier, better than everybody else. Unless he just like goes out, runs 4.2, jumps 41, broad jumps 12.
I heard he was thinking about not even playing this season.
12-inch hands.
Yeah, he would have to measure like Calvin Johnson and bring, like Jamar Chase athleticism with that kind of size. I'm not saying he doesn't have that. I'm not saying he won't test that well. But the Titans need a wide receiver, and the only guy in this draft right now that I can see us even saying we're gonna go and spend that kind of money on a skill position is that guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. It looks like the Coliseum podcast agrees with us too.
Yeah,
that's another good Titans podcast, by the way.
I would love to have Marv in a Titans uniform, partially because of football, right? X's and O's, but also because I want to stick it to Indianapolis so bad. Y'all had his daddy. We got his son.
Right,
yeah, man. His daddy and Peyton Manning
tortured us, man.
Yeah, him and Manning was like
he was catching one hand passes on us and everything, man.
Marvin was like tortured, man. I hated it. But I love number 88. I love number 88, but I hate it.
Man, y'all making me relive these days.
I just hate the Colts, period, bro. I hate everything about the Colts.
I tell
I respect the Colts because I feel like if it wasn't for Indianapolis, we wouldn't have been the team that we are. Like, I feel like Peyton Manning made us what we are.
So you saying like iron sharpens steel type deal?
Yeah. If it wasn't for the early years,
we had to take out the early.
Yeah, if it wasn't for them early years of going against Jacksonville, going against Pittsburgh, right, and then Peyton Manning having a battle against Peyton Manning for the better part of 15 years, I think we probably we would have been complacent with being second, third in the division. No, like he made the Titans hungry to go. Hey, we got to beat him because to get to where we want to be, we got to beat him. So I appreciate Peyton Manning. When he went to Denver, I was excited. I was like, man, the Colts gonna suck. They sucked for a season, and number 12 came before, and I was like,
and then Andrew Luck came in.
And he came, and we ain't beat him not one time.
Not one time.
But since then, they have had no luck.
Since Tannehill came, we've been smacking that ass.
I'm just saying, since Luck, they haven't had a quarterback. It's almost like the curse of the Luck. You know what I mean?
Man, they did. They also did him dirty.
It was their time. It was their time to go through the quarterback carousel like all the other teams got to do. They got blessed with Peyton Manning, then turn around and get Andrew Luck. They didn't have to search for that next franchise quarterback like we all got to go through.
And here's the crazy thing, right? So John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin, I think it was 2 years ago, they were like that they were like the Tennessee Titans are our AFC North team. They were like they play like an AFC North team. To me, that's high praise because it shows you where we came from. People forget we were in the AFC Central.
That's right.
The Browns, the Colts, and Pittsburgh were our rivals. We didn't know who the Jacksonville Jaguars were.
Yeah, they weren't a team.
Yeah, we didn't know who they were. So it was, and that's not a knock on Jacksonville because they ended up becoming a rival because of Mark Brunell and Kenny McCardell and Jimmy Smith and those guys later on. But that AFC Central playing against Cleveland and Pittsburgh and Peyton Manning was hard, man. That was a hard fought, and the fact that our first year. We go 13-3.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Clarence.
On me all the time.
Clarence. Jags fans don't care if Titans. Hey, pull that back up, Max.
Ain't scared of a 31-year-old wide receiver to get separation.
Who
He's
y'all
saying
got to be
DeAndre
scared
Hopkins
of,
ain't.
Clarence?
He's saying DeAndre Hopkins wouldn't be enough to scare a Jags fan.
Man, listen, Clarence, y'all was scared of D-Hop even when y'all had Jalen Ramsey. Now y'all don't even have a cornerback that's close to Jalen Ramsey.
They better ask somebody what DeAndre Hopkins do. It's a couple of players that have their best games when they go down to Jacksonville, and DeAndre Hopkins is one of them. Number 22 is another one.
I was gonna say, big boy right here.
Yeah, number 22 is another one. I respect the Jaguar. I respect the Jaguars, but come on now, like let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be real. Where are we sitting at?
Yeah. Number 10 and number 22. I don't know what they do before they go down to Jacksonville, but them boys love it down there.
Hey, you know why when they type out Duval, why they put all the L's on the end of it, right?
Even in his short time,
Sorry.
Even in his short time here, AJ Brown embarrassed Jacksonville too. Everybody shits on Jacksonville. It's like you got to do that when you play for the
Titans. At least once.
Like
at least once.
Yeah.
Like you got to shit on
that's a Titan thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we got here.
Yeah. Titans won all them divisions.
Still in the boat with the Jags and the Texans.
Man, come on, man. Only one team gonna win the Super Bowl each year. Only one team can win the Super Bowl each year. Bro.
Like, at least we've been there. That's what I was just gonna say. And who did we beat to get there?
Here's the thing, right? I think the Jags have been to 2 AFC. I think the Jags have been to 3 AFC championship games.
So
the Titans have been to 3.
Yep.
No, wait, we've been to more. No, we've been to 3.
Been to 3.
2.
We've been to 3.
No, we've been to 3.
We've been to 3.
We've been to 3. We went to 99. We went to the Super Bowl.
Hold on, we just went with the Chiefs. And we went with the Raiders. We played the Raiders in the AFC Championship.
We played the Ravens.
2003. The Raiders beat us.
Yeah, we played the Ravens, and then we also played the Bengals recently, and then we.
We didn't play the Bengals in the AFC Championship.
We played the Chiefs.
We played the Chiefs.
I'm sorry,
the Chiefs. So we've been 3 times.
Chiefs.
Yeah, wasn't the
Chiefs,
Ravens,
Raiders, and Jags.
Right.
Chiefs,
so we played.
Chiefs, Raiders,
we've been 3
Jags.
times. The Texans are the only team in the division that have never been to an AFC championship.
Nope.
Only 2 teams in the division have ever have been to the Super Bowl, and only and one of them ain't never been at all. So,
them boys finna waste Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, man.
Like the coach did Andrew Luck. He going
Sunshine.
the same path.
I don't know, man. Sunshine is kind of dangerous out there, man.
I like him, man.
Really?
I like him.
Fumbles. I call him Fumbles because he's got like butterfingers or something.
Man, Sunshine different, man. I don't know.
He been balling. He been balling. He had my respect since Clemson. I ain't gonna lie.
I
showed me in college he was the real deal.
I really wanted to bring you on here, especially to ask you unbiased questions that I have. And
go ahead. I'm sorry. We done got we an hour in and we done.
No, but this is part
of it. Okay, look, I got one for you, Courtlandt.
Go for
it. Honest opinion. No biasness at all. Where do you see the Titans? How many games do you see the Titans winning next year? If you can give us the closest guess.
Oh man, unbiasedly, I'm looking at our schedule real quick.
Yeah, see, me and Max did a show where we went game by game, and I came down with 7. I said 9-8? I said 9-8. Yeah, I think Max had us at like 11-6. I had us at 9-8, and that was honest.
The Saints, week 1 against the Saints. That's a toss up because it's week 1.
Yeah,
it's a toss up, but I'll take an L. I'll take an L against the Saints.
Okay.
The Chargers.
I seen us beat them because they ain't got no quarterback.
Yeah, I can see us. But I can see it because of their guys are coming back healthy. I could see us, unless our defense just comes out and
play like I
do. I see us start 0-2. We could beat Cleveland. We're probably gonna lose against the Bengals. So we 1-3 to start the season. We'll beat the Colts. So 2-3 to start the season. We're gonna lose. We'll lose against the Ravens.
Oh, you think so?
2-4. Yeah. Them weapons. I got them in the AFC Championship game this year. So it's
this is yours.
Okay. Man,
this is my unbiased. This is my unbiased.
Yeah, you do.
My homeboy would be so happy to hear that right there. Wow.
So I got us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got us 2-4 so far. We'll beat the Falcons because they're young. So 3-4. The Steelers is a toss up because we played them tough.
I got us beating them because I don't think.
Man, but that's in Pittsburgh and it's in Pittsburgh. So
and it's Thursday night football too.
We'll win that one. 4-4.
We play good on prime time.
Yeah, we'll beat the Buccaneers. I don't trust Baker Mayfield, so we positive 5-4.
This just shows how much of a homer he is.
Yeah, Kyler Murray, how he didn't have a legit. So
Watson
Murray
and
and
Kyler
Watson
Murray.
is legit.
That's your
quarterback.
legit. Yeah, okay. Well.
Kyler is not a legit quarterback. Watson was the only one. So I got us at 6-5. We'll probably lose to the Jags in Jacksonville.
I got that too.
We'll beat the Panthers.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna kill Bryce Young.
6-5 so far. We'll probably split with the Colts. So I'll get a Colts. That one in Tennessee.
Hell no, we sweeping it. Yeah, we sweeping them.
This unbiased. I gotta be unbiased.
Go ahead.
So 6-6. So we're at 6-6 so far.
Okay.
We'll lose to the Dolphins. That's a lot of firepower.
I agree.
I can see that.
We'll beat the Texans. So 7-7. We're gonna lose to Seattle.
I said that too.
I get the Texans. I get the Texans theirs at home, and then we'll split it and we'll lose to Jacksonville. So 7-10.
Hold on, time out. So you don't think we sweeping no division opponents?
I don't see, and this is the thing. I don't see the AFC South. I don't see any sweeps in the AFC South this year.
So you think it's gonna be a real?
I don't think the gap. I don't think the talent gap between the teams is that high that where you'll see anybody be swept this year. The defenses the defenses are too talented, and the offenses are like the Jacksonville Jaguars have the above and beyond best offense in the division, but the defenses that they got to face twice a year. It's you're not gonna just go out there and beat up on Houston. You're not gonna go out there and beat up on us.
The only team. I agree with everything you're saying. The only team I had sweeping was the Colts, and the other team.
Only way I see that happening is if Anthony Richardson somehow, some way has some kind of rookie gaffe of a mistake, right, against a veteran defense.
I can't see a quarterback like Anthony Richardson beating the Titans. We usually beat the quarterbacks like him. If he can't legit stand in the pocket and shred our, take advantage of our weakness at corner, we'll beat him. But
the one thing I will say is the one thing that scares me about this defense is we don't have that speed at linebacker we used to have. David Long ain't there no more. So you're depending on Monty Rice.
We hoping Monty Rice.
How y'all feel about Aziz Shahir? They say he's fast.
Aziz is fast, but he can only cover so much ground.
Outside, yeah.
So he's gonna be your coverage guy. Remember, when we had Jayon Brown and David it was different because both of them guys were 4-4, 4-5 guys. So you can have one cover the tight end and the other one spying the quarterback. If Monty is spying my quarterback, and this guy's under the 4-4 at 230, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those situations where you gotta hope. I'm hoping that on paper, right? Because on paper our defense is one of the better defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, 17.5 points last year is what we averaged a game.
So with that being said,
healthy last year, man.
Right. So with that being said, you hoping that on paper, yes, we should easily beat a quarterback like Anthony Richardson. Definitely in his first season. But again, paper is always just that. It's paper. It's projections. So when we get into the season, of course, you got to account for injuries. You got to account for certain guys kind of still trying to figure it out.
Can we pray that we finally over the injury bug this year?
Oh yeah, I hope. No, I think we are.
Oh man,
I think we are.
Yeah, me too.
We gotta be, bro. We done put up with it for 2 seasons.
But the thing is what I want to see is the back end. I want to see how healthy the secondary stays because I'm not really worried about the linebackers. I'm not worried about the defensive line.
Listen, I said it from the beginning. Our secondary is still gonna be a problem. As much as we want them to be good, that's still gonna be our weakness.
Well, Fulton and Hooker are hurt a lot.
Sean Murphy Bunting is solid. If Christian can give us at least 13 games this year.
Time out. Stop right there. What you think Caleb Farley gonna give us? how you feel about this Caleb Farley thing?
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Let him go.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you the truth. They don't bring in Sean Murphy Bunting if they had faith in Caleb Farley. Because they're the same guy. They're the same guy. They're literally the same guy. Like Sean Murphy Bunting is
still on the team is
long,
because we
athletic,
have to pay him.
Yeah, long, athletic, mirror cover guy. If Caleb Farley this year doesn't come out and show what made him a top 15 pick, or I'm sorry, a top 22 pick, he's gone this year. Right? It's because you came out and I think what John Robinson thought was, oh man, I got lucky. I got the best defensive tackle in the draft at number 10, and he panned out, and he hasn't been hurt since.
Now I'm going to do the same thing at corner.
Man, Caleb Farley, man. Okay, like best cornerback in the draft. I can get him at 22. Why not?
Yeah.
And that was one of them. J-Rob dropped the ball. He dropped the ball.
ACL, what John Robinson should have understood was an ACL and a back injury.
Back problem.
Same thing.
Yeah, well, not only that, the dude didn't play in the COVID year, so he hadn't played football in 2 full seasons
at all.
And he was injured.
Bro,
let me see. Out of the last 5 years, he's only played, I think, 7 games, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
5 seasons, he's only played 7 games.
Let me ask you this, Courtland.
Bro, first rounders are the players who win you the Super Bowl, get you to Super Bowl. And if we keep missing on first rounders, bro, that don't really hurt us immediately, but it hurts you 2-3 years down the line where they supposed to be done established themselves and been dominant players by now. It's really killing us.
That's part of the reason.
It's really killing us that Caleb Farley didn't pan out, bro. Like, it's killing us that he didn't pan out as a lockdown corner. And we still having to pay veterans like Sean Murphy Bunting to come in and play corner, man.
I agree with you, but let me ask you this.
But shout out to Roger McCreary, though.
If he didn't have that $2 million, if he didn't have that rookie contract, $2 million where we have to pay him that, do you think that if we could cut ties with him and not have any money tied up anymore, would we cut him from the team?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
I say
yeah,
he gone.
In a heartbeat.
He been gone.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right.
He's out of there.
All right. All right.
Because what you gotta think about is if you could cut a guy who ain't played but 7 games, right? And you open up a roster spot, yes. Like yesterday, I would have. Hey, don't even worry about cleaning your locker out. We'll send it to you.
All right. So, we're gonna do one more question from the fans, and then we'll kind of wrap this thing up because I don't want to get too late. I don't know how late you want to stay on.
Oh man, I ain't gotta work tomorrow.
Neither do I. Kevin Beatty, I believe it. He said he's from Arkansas. Who do you see as a player ready to step up in a big role?
Go ahead, Courtland. You take it.
I'm gonna let you take it, Courtland. Yeah.
For the Titans, I got two. I got two.
Any position.
I got 2 of them.
Okay.
And one of them is pretty obvious. I think Traylon Burks is ready to step up and be another one. Seeing him, talking to him, he's not the same guy he was last year, and in a good way. He's trim. You can tell he's been in the gym. You can tell he's worked. You can tell when he said, "I stayed here." Like when we asked, said, "Traylon, you look faster, look stronger." He stood up and said, "I can breathe." you could tell, like his last year breathing issues, being in Tennessee. Like people got to realize, you can talk about Denver, Colorado all you want.
The humidity we got is
when you walk outside in Tennessee, in Nashville specifically.
Yeah,
85 degrees feels like 100. Yeah, and this heat got weight to
and it's wet.
Yes. It's suffocation. It's got weight.
It's got weight something over your mouth.
Yeah, it's got weight. So when I struggled with asthma as a kid. So I had to get used to it. So when I went and I left Nashville, I left Tennessee, and you go and play in games, and you like, oh, this is totally different. This is
I can breathe.
Yeah, like, oh, okay. Like it's different. So him coming from Arkansas, which is more dry, it's not as humid, and coming to Tennessee, where you walk outside and you ain't outside for 2 minutes and you already drenched in in sweat, right? It's totally different. So I think he can step up, be a number one. Like I said, I think his floor is being like a T. Higgins type number 2, right? That's his floor, but that's not a bad floor. Being a 1,000-yard receiver who can give you 5 to 7 touchdowns a year, that's not a bad floor.
Oh.
Another guy that I think can step up and be, and matter of fact, I give you 3. Both of these guys on defense. Both of these guys on defense. Elijah Molden, I think, is ready to step up and be the guy that he was his rookie season, but improved. He's a guy who can play safety. He's a guy who can play nickel corner. He's a guy who can rush from the box. And he can also, he's loose enough in the hips, and he's healthy this year. He can play a little bit of outside corner too. I like that dude. Something about him, he doesn't play to his size. He's the smallest guy on the field most of the time, but he plays bigger than that. And then I'm gonna give you a new addition, Azeez Al-Shaair. A guy who learned from Fred Warner, a guy who learned under two of the best defensive minds that we've seen, right? And Robert Saleh and D'Amico Ryans. Mm-hmm. And when I talked to him for a good 7 to 10 minutes after the first day of camp. And I was just asking him, what are you bringing to the Tennessee Titans? What did you learn from San Francisco? And like he said, I learned a lot from Fred. I learned a lot from my coaches. But now I'm bringing Azeez Al-Shaair. I'm bringing A-Train. I'm bringing, Turn Me Up 2 to the Tennessee Titans. And that alone, when you look at him, he doesn't look like he just got here. He looks like a guy who's been with the Tennessee Titans from day one. Like he's a Tennessee Titan through and through. I talk like the way he leads stretches, the way he just melded into the team. If you had said number 2 is this his first year, somebody would look like other guys would look at you and be like, "Ain't no way." I think he steps up this year and shows that he can be a starter in this league, and that he's a Titan. He's a guy who's primed to be a Titans legend. And I'm not trying to put too much weight on the guy. I'm not trying to give him high praise before he ever takes a snap. I just like the way the guy carries himself, and I think he's ready to step up and be primed for a big year.
Okay. All right, I like that.
Yeah.
Flame, you want to go or you want me to go?
I mean, I'm gonna jump in. Max, I say it all the time, man. The player I'm looking to make the biggest jump is my boy Kyle Phillips, man. I want to see that dude come and be the best slot receiver, the Wes Welker, the Julian Edelman. I think he got
Danny
it.
Amendola.
Man, yes, sir. I want him to be.
He put on muscle. He looks a lot bigger than he was.
Yeah, he does.
I heard him on the radio say he packed on some pounds, so he ready to take some hits. So I got Kyle Phillips, and unfortunately, my other player I had is going to be suspended for the first 4 games. I had NPF, and I still think he's going to step up and, solidify that guard position on the right side. So that's 2. And I give you one on defense. Harold Landry going to bounce back and have another 12 to 13 to 14 sack season again.
I got him slated at 15. I got him having the 15 sack season.
I was going to say, I got 12 to 15. Yep.
Right,
boom.
Because you got to think, Jeffrey going to be healthy. Nico's going to be healthy. Then you add, and this is a guy, I should have said him, and I think and I thought that we're going to cut Bud and kind of roll with this guy. But I think Rashad Weaver is a guy that you got to watch out. Number 99 is a dude that you should watch for.
He's trying to.
Because he was solid last year.
I think they're going to use him on interior line. Yeah,
I think he had like 6 sacks last year. But he packed
Hey,
on
and
weight.
don't forget about Arden Key. Don't forget about Arden Key.
We added Arden.
Too, yeah.
We added Arden. So Harold having Arden Key, we can run a NASCAR package, and it's gonna be fun. Like I said, man, this.
Right.
If y'all can see,
that front seven
defense
gonna be fun to watch,
if
man.
you can see Bowen's face, when he was talking about this defense, his face lit up.
Yeah.
He loves the athletes he's got, because now you're going to get to see the exotic looks. You're going to get to see the amoeba style defense where guys are standing up and Danico Autry is lined up at defensive tackle, but now you're going to see Jeffrey Simmons lined up at outside linebacker. And I may be giving a little too much away, but it's going to be fun when you see this defense hit the field.
Yeah, they give me hope.
All right, I'm gonna start, but before I do, I'm gonna preface it by saying, Courtlandt, I'm sorry, you don't know, but I used to coach. I'm gonna have to tell them that I can't do it this year. But anyway, I coach little ones. I've done it for a long time, so I understand scheme. Obviously, I play Madden like crazy. I think I'm some kind of football god. You know, like I've got all the answers. You know,
we all had to learn somewhere.
Exactly right, but. What I do is study a lot of tape. I watch a lot of tape, man, and like especially on guys that I don't know. You know, like this Aziz Al-Shaair guy, Al-Shaair. I think I said that right. I'm sorry. I'm bad with names.
It's one of them names you got to kind of roll with it and
whatever.
He knows who you're talking about. He knows who you're talking about.
Yeah, A-Train. But yeah, man, I watched some tape on him. Yeah, he is a fast, hard-hitting, sideline to sideline guy. I love him for the scheme. You know, and then we got Sean Murphy Bunting again, quick. He's still young. He's tall. He's the right frame. Yeah, I mean, like I think Sean Murphy Bunting is going to be pretty amazing. But I started off this offseason really upset at the fact that we gave Aaron Brewer such a big tender. I didn't like Aaron Brewer. I was a big hater of Aaron Brewer. And that's because I got used to watching him at left guard last year. I had forgotten the 2 years prior when he had filled in for center when Ben Jones had to take a day off. And when you look at those stats, that man can ball, son.
He's an elite level center when he's playing his natural position.
Yes. All right. So that is he said, who's going to step into a big role or play a big role this year? I hate to say it. I'm going to shoot my own self in the foot and eat my own crow. It's going to be Aaron Brewer, man. After watching the tape of 2021 and 20, I have to go back and say, man, I'm sorry, Aaron. I'm sorry, dude. Because, like, I just watched you as a left guard standing next to Dennis Daly, who's trash. And you got thrown around like a rag doll. And that's because you're kind of small frame to be a left guard in the NFL. But you a perfect frame for a center. And you played it really, really well while you were there.
If you look at last year, I think it was the second half of the year when he actually moved over to play safety.
Yes.
Not safety, I'm sorry, center.
Yeah.
I hope he didn't play safety. When he moved over to play center.
That'd be slower.
He never smile enough.
Yeah. Hey. When he moved over to play center, our running rate actually went up and the yards per carry went up. So he's a very good center. He's above average to elite. Pro Football Focus, I think, had him graded, as like one of the top 15 centers in the league.
Yes.
Second half of the year. So it's going to be fun. Like I said, it's going to be fun to see, definitely with him anchoring the middle when NPF comes back in week 7, you know, and we get this offensive line solid. Peter Skoronski, watch out for Peter Skoronski. He has a football name, and he's a thick neck. When I tell you he's a thick neck, like when I saw him at the combine, I was like, yeah, I want him. I want him.
He pushing people off the ball for sure.
He's pushing dudes away. Like, he's going dudes up.
That's one thing I wanted to ask, man. Earlier when I said I wanted to play devil's advocate with Jalen Duncan, there was a video, early OTAs, that come out of Peter Skoronski absolutely demolishing somebody. I mean, just laying them flat on their back.
That was Jalen Duncan.
Yeah, I know. And then after that, I found out that it was Jalen. Through my people, I found out it's Jalen Duncan, and I was like, "No, man! Oh my god!"
Here's the thing,
But
right?
I'm hoping it was just him taking a playoff, or he got caught off guard.
No, there's a certain number of guys in the league that you don't want to stand in front of, and I don't care how big, how strong you are. Those dudes want to move you out the way.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Donald is one of them.
Oh yeah.
Big Jeff.
Calais Campbell is another. Big Jeff. Chris Jones. DeForest Buckner. DeForest Buckner. Trent Williams and Peter Skoronski. Like, this is a dude who, when I tell you, even though he has short arms.
Yeah, right. Yeah, short arms. Yeah.
Would y'all would have put Taylor Lewan in there his team?
Yeah. Taylor was a beast in his day.
Yeah.
But Peter Skoronski is built like a brick. Like he's all in here. Like he's all this is just there.
Solid.
And he doesn't have to move. He doesn't have to move to generate power. Like when they were doing like the bag drills at the combine, I mean, he's punching it. Like it's natural, just raw country strength. And so that wasn't no Jalen Duncan. That's just Peter Skoronski being a big, strong guy.
Good, man. Hey, you selling me on Jalen Duncan, man. And I
like him.
Right.
I like him.
I really hope you're right, because I want him to just step in for PF or NPF and just take off, And
I think that was kind of the goal. I think the goal was you draft the NPF. He's in his second season. You get Peter Skoronski, rookie. Aaron Brewer, who's like 26 years old, I think like 26 years old. Daniel Brunskill was like 26 years old. And then Andre Dillard is the oldest guy on this offensive line. He's the oldest guy, 27. If he doesn't show up, let's just say he, this is a 1 year, I think a 1 or 2 year prove-it deal for him.
Right. Yeah.
At worst, he turns into a swing tackle, right? A guy who can just kind of fill in when somebody hurt. And then Jalen Duncan, the plan I think was to get Jalen Duncan, groom him up, and then let him plug in at his natural left tackle. Now you have one of the youngest offensive lines and one of the biggest and most athletic offensive lines in the NFL. And with what the Titans are probably going to end up doing is moving away from the bigger power back. Sorry, I hate to say it, Derrick Henry might end up gone next year.
Yeah.
But Tajay Spears, if you go and Tajay Spears, let's say Tajay Spears slots in as your starter, and then you go and maybe draft a Blake Corum or somebody like that in the second or third round, you now have an offensive line that can move guys out the way and running backs that can pick the hole that they want to get through, make guys miss, and have big playability.
Yeah, and I'll say this.
You're now ushered into the modern day NFL offense.
Yeah, and I think that's what Rand's really trying to do with the analytics coming in. If you look at his draft picks, you look at all their RAS scores, I mean, it's clear that he's going after these super athletic dudes. Colton Dow, I'm a huge fan of Colton Dow. Man, you're a media guy, so you have access to that stuff. Can you tell me, is Colton Dow showing up? Tell me my boy's doing good.
He's
one
solid.
more player. Another player, Max, got me hype about Josh Wiley, too. So,
Josh Wiley is like that. Josh Wiley is like that.
Guess what? I didn't know nothing about him. Shout out to Max.
Here's the thing about Josh Wiley. So go watch his tape, right?
Thanks,
if you watch his tape.
Same thing Max said.
If you watch his tape, he can be exactly what Travis Kelce is.
Thank you.
Damn,
I was saying Austin Hooper, but
I'm not going to say he's going to be. I'm not going to say he's going to be one of the top 5 greatest tight ends, but he can be that guy who catches the ball and makes a guy miss and gets you 70 yards to tight end. We got Chigo Okonkwo. You're not asking Josh Wiley to come in and be tight end 1 because and I tell people this. People laughed at me. I said, You thought Johnny Smith was baby Delaney Walker? No, go look at Chig Okonkwo.
No,
like,
yeah, he Delaney.
He's built like Delaney. He walks like Delaney. He talks like Delaney.
I want to know, can Josh Wiley block? Come on, man.
He's long enough. And I'm gonna put it this way: he's not gonna move you out the way.
That's crazy.
But he's long, so he's gonna keep you. He's gonna create lanes.
He
Can
keep
he
you
keep
far
Trayvon?
enough.
Right?
Can he keep Trayvon Wesco off the field?
Yes.
Boom. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yes.
Because
and here's the thing. People who are down on Trayvon Wesco don't be. Trayvon Wesco is a better receiving option than Jeff Swain was, and Jeff Swain was horrible. Jeff Swain was on the field to be a blocker only. Trayvon Wesco will come in and be everything we thought Jeff Swain was going to be plus. Like, he can actually go out there and catch it. I put it this way. Remember Craig Stevens?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yes.
That's Trayvon Wesco can be that.
Yeah.
Right? Josh Wiley is going to develop into a guy who you're going to run 2 tight end sets with, and defenses are going to have to pick and choose if you double team Okonkwo, or you double team Wiley, or you single coverage everybody on the field, and then it's going to be pick your poison.
Yeah, because
it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to cover, and this is not going to be a next year thing. This is going to be a 2 or 3 years down the line thing. But the Titans are developing a pick your poison offense. You can't, because you're going to eventually come to the point where you can't double cover Treylon, you can't double cover Kyle, you can't double cover Chig, you can't double cover Josh Wiley, and Tajay Spears is going to be out of the backfield cooking you game in and game out.
And
so you're going to have to
don't let
D right. If D Hop comes, and he said this on Twitter, whoever I sign with, I'm going to make your job way easier.
It's going to get easier.
It's going to get easier. So
I mean, yeah.
Me and you.
I don't need DeAndre Hopkins to come in and be a 1,500-yard, 10 touchdown guy. If he comes in and gives me 1,005 and Treylon Burks goes off for 1,200, I don't have any qualms. I don't have it. That's a win because your young guy gets to develop, and the guy who you brought in to be who's a top 10, top 20 receiver in NFL all time, right, is still giving you solid number 2 numbers. That's a dangerous combo.
Man, I don't know if you can tell it or not, but I am getting like sweaty and excited over here.
I think the Titans, even though I have us finishing last in the division this year, right? I have us finishing last in the division. If everything goes right, in a perfect world, everything's perfect, no injuries, we signed DeAndre Hopkins, the ceiling for us is 10 wins. 10 wins can win this division. 10 wins can win the division.
Yeah.
And then you're in the game.
Yep. Because once you get to the tournament, it's about matchups. And I can tell you right now, we match up well with the Bengals right now.
That's right. We
match up well. We match up well. We still got I think still Kansas City still is going to give us some fits.
Until we
because it's Kansas City and it's Patrick Mahomes. We match up well with
Kansas City.
We match up well with Buffalo.
No, we match up well with Buffalo. Well, 50,
Buffalo still doesn't have a running game. Buffalo still doesn't have a running game. So they kind of we match up well with them because regardless of what they do,
their quarterbacks are running game.
Yeah, their quarterbacks are running game. So and we got some ambush droppers on this defense.
That's why I don't.
And we still have one of the top. We got one of the top 3. I'll go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
No, you going. I was gonna say people keep saying Baltimore a lot better than us too. I don't see that.
Well, Baltimore is, and the only reason I say Baltimore we're not a good matchup with Baltimore is because of what they added receiver wise. If they still had iffy receivers with just Mark Andrews, and Hollywood,
but Lamar passing the ball doesn't scare me. Like he can't beat us with just simply his arm. Like I don't care who they add.
We say
Lamar not gonna sit in the pocket and kill us.
We say that, but they said the same thing about Jalen Hurts, and he got weapons. And last year, where were the Eagles? So, and I tell anybody this, and this is unbiased, right? This is Courtlandt, the reporter now. Give any quarterback in the NFL a solid tight end, a solid running game, and 3 receivers that can get open, you're going to see your offense flourish.
Yeah.
I don't care. He can go from. It could be. You could put Zach Wilson as your quarterback. If I drop him in Philadelphia right now, he's at least a middle of the pack quarterback. Yeah. At least the middle of the pack quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not going to be what Jalen Hurts is, but he's at least middle of the pack. So, like I said, Tennessee. That's the one thing that we haven't had in a long time is 3 to 4 guys that can go get you a first down. When we did have those guys, we were 13-3 and competing for a Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
So, it's in the year that we had just a semblance of those kind of guys, we were in the AFC Championship game and we put up 27 points against the eventual Super Bowl champs. So
that's right.
The Titans are now in a situation where we're trying to build what Houston has got a head start because they were bad. They got a head start, right? Jacksonville was bad for 6 years. They got a head start. The Colts are the Colts and the Titans. It's our chance to be at the bottom and build our way back up. But I'm telling you, the rest of the AFC South, when we get there, as much as I don't like the Colts, it's gonna be the Colts and the Titans back at the top, duking it out for supremacy. Don't be surprised when we in about 2 years, 3 years, when these teams are back winning 9, 10, 11, 12 games.
You said it,
I agree with you, man. Clarence don't, but that's all right. Clarence don't agree with nothing I said.
Clarence is the delusional one.
Yeah,
I don't. And this is that. Like everything that I said is like not delusion. Like because my delusion. If you want me to get delusional,
that's what. No, that's why I wanted
we
you
can get
on
delusional
because
I can get delusional.
Yeah,
I can tell you Ryan Tannehill gonna throw for 4,540. I can.
Hey, you can tell. Hey, man, Clarence. Check out the halftime show, man. You'll understand what he's talking about. He goes around the entire NFL talking to every single division, talking to every single team about. I mean, this man knows what he's talking about. He's not just a Titans fan. He's an NFL fan. He just happens to love the Titans.
Oh, I'm a Titans homer since I was 6 years old, man. So
I love that. I love that. I honestly, I didn't know you were that big of a Titans fan, man.
I'm a huge Titans fan, man.
We're gonna have to see some games together this year.
Yeah, man. My wife, she didn't understand until she took me to. I hadn't been to a game in 7 years. She took me to a game, and I cried real. Like she surprised me. I didn't know we were going to a game, and I cried real tears. She was like, "I didn't know you was that big of a fan." I was like, "No, I'm a real fan." Like I've been to both uniform reveals. I'm that big of a fan. Like when they break ground on the new stadium, I'm gonna be there.
Yep.
I'm gonna be there. I'm that big of a fan. Like if you cut me right now, I probably bleed two-tone blue. That's how much I'm so much of a fan that if they let me in the locker room, they would think I was a player. I'm that big of a fan.
Hey man, all right. Look, man, we definitely gonna have to have you back on the show.
Oh, for sure, man.
Maybe multiple times.
I'm glad y'all had me on tonight, man. This is fun.
I mean,
I get to kind of let my media my media hat down, and I kind of get to have some fun. So
I want two quick questions though, as your media hat. The Malik Willis hype, is it real?
Yes.
Because
as of right now, him and Will Levis are equal footing. And the reason I say the hype is real. When I looked at Malik last year, and then you see him this year, he's patient in the pocket. He doesn't have the jitter, happy feet.
The feet,
He commands the huddle. The guys rally around him. And saying that him and Will Levis are on the same footing right now is not a knock on Will Levis. It's not a knock on Malik Willis.
No.
It's simply saying that it's just where they at. But this is also saying that Will Levis, once he gets the mental aspect down, the sky's
Yeah,
for him.
I was gonna say, man. I was upset about the Will Levis pick, to be honest with you, when it first happened.
I was too.
Like I said, as a coach, I do what coaches do. I went back and started watching some tape, and then I went, "Holy crap! I haven't seen a release like that, and I don't know how long." It was
2022.
He's
Go back,
saying
like people looking at last year's tape when he was dealing with the shoulder and the turf toe.
Yeah, I ain't talking about that.
Go look at 2022-23. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Dude. And also realized last year he was hurt and did not have a man receiver to throw the ball to, and still put up comparable numbers.
Thank you. That's what I said. I was like, how many? Who got drafted from their team? Oh yeah, Rodriguez and the
Wandale Robinson got drafted last year.
Yeah, and then they had one offensive lineman taken, I think, in the free agency or whatever, undrafted free agency. But that was it. Nobody else. Everybody else from Kentucky sitting on their couch that graduated this year.
I ain't never really questioned Will Levis, but I honestly do got real big question marks on Malik Willis. Like, personally, I don't think that guy's ever going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. That's just me personally.
Well, even if he's not, right? You have a functional backup, right? Yeah, you have a guy who can run the system. So, like I said, I think the hype is real. The guy is confident as ever. I talked to him after the second day of practice.
His footwork looks amazing compared
to last year. He looks way better.
But and his throwing motion seems faster too.
When I talk to him, he's such a fun guy to talk to because he's so like when I talked to him, I said, "Man, like, what's the difference between last year and this year?" He was like, "Man, I had the game slowed down for me, and he's still the same guy. Doesn't make the same mistake twice. A sponge. He's in Tim Kelly's ear. He's in Ryan Tannehill's ear. He's in Will Levis's ear."
If you had to pick one of them as a starter right now, you going with Malik Willis?
Ooh, it's tough.
If it's just him and Levis, Levis right now.
That's tough. I'm gonna go with Malik, just based off of Malik knows the offense and has had a year in the NFL to process things.
Okay.
So he's seeing how fast people move.
And I'm just going off of what gives me the best chance. If I'm looking at what gives me the best chance to win games, Malik gives me the best chance to win games. Now, if they're both on equal footing, right now, if they're both on equal footing mentally, give me Will Levis all day. Yeah. But as of right now, from what I've seen, I'll take number 7.
The other question I had for you, man, and then we really do have to we're almost at 2 hours. The other question I had for you, man, was as a fan and for other fans out there, they used to have the practices open to the public, at least 2 to 3 every season before COVID. Yeah. Then once COVID happened, they quit doing it. And then like last year, I think they did it, but they only did it for season ticket holders. Is that right?
Yeah, it was only season ticket holders.
Are they going to continue that, or is it going to maybe open? Do you have any ears on that?
I think they're going to start opening practices up to fans again. When we were there at training camps, they kind of had some fans there on like the last day of training camp, or mandatory mini camps, I should say. So it could open back up. It's around the league right now. It's a touch and go thing right now. Because COVID is still a thing, it's not as big of a threat as it was, but it's still a thing. And the NFL, it's not the Titans as much as it's the league.
Okay.
So,
because I love the Titans caravan too. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're a Nashville guy, a lot of people don't know about it, but I'm a Nashville guy.
Yeah, I'm a Nashville guy. So they kind of go to all. I've seen it in. I've been a part of it, or it's like I've gone to a couple. So it's cool. Like it's not Amy Adams, it's not Vrabel. This is not them decision. It's the league decision. So they're kind of being judicious, and I think eventually the league will kind of open up and soften up a little bit as we get further away from the severity of COVID.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So hey, man, great show, dude. We're gonna have you on more than once.
For sure, man. I enjoyed this.
We might have to do like a weekly thing with when the season starts, like game talk and stuff.
I'm open to it. I'm open to it.
Check in. Hey, that's gonna be the segment, man. Check in with Courtlandt.
Hey, I'm open to it. I'm open to it, man. Hey, man, y'all gotta check. I gotta get y'all on the show too, man. I gotta get y'all on the halftime show during the season.
Absolutely, that would be great, man. And tell everybody right now where they can find you on what platforms and.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, the 3-point conversion. That's THE, the number 3 point conversion.com. You can look up my name, find all my articles on the NFL, WNBA, NHL, anything sports. I'm pretty much writing on all of it. Also, check me out on Instagram and Twitter at the THE letter C Griffy GRIFFY. You can catch my promo videos for the NFL Roundtable that I'm doing right now. You can catch any of my commentary videos, things of that nature. On Twitter, I'm pretty much anywhere there's sports. If there's sports talk, I'm in there.
That's where I found you, bro.
If there's Titans talk, I'm in there. If it's NFL talk, I'm in there. If it's NBA talk, I'm there. If it's Yankees talk, I'm a Yankees fan. I'm there. Yeah, find me on there. You can also catch the halftime show on my Facebook page. You can search the halftime show with Courtlandt Griffin on Facebook and catch my show there every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're this upcoming Thursday, we'll be doing the NFC East. I'm going to have Ashley Baker. I'm going to have my guy Eric Wilson. We're going to be covering the NFC East. It's going to get spicy. It's going to get toxic. I'm dealing with Cowboys and Eagles fans and Giants fans and Commanders fans. Last week was crazy. We did
I watched that one.
Last week was crazy. Or I should say Thursday's show was crazy. We did the AFC North or AFC East. So we're doing the NFC East. And then the week after this, we got the AFC North. It's going to get crazy. We entered the last 4-week stretch, the last 4 divisions. We're doing each of the northern divisions, each of the western divisions. Those are the last 4. So, man, and this has been fun. I hate when it ends because I'm getting to talk to all these different NFL fans, man. I'm learning so much about these teams that I didn't really know. And these guys who follow these, just like people probably have learned so much about the Titans from listening to us. I'm learning a lot about these different NFL teams from listening to fans and reporters that are actually covering those teams and love those teams like we love the Titans. So this is a fun experience. And after that, we're going to be hopping into preseason games. We're going to be hopping into NFL games. NBA will be starting up. So the halftime show will be in full effect. And I can't wait. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen, man. It's going to be an interesting year, to say the least.
For sure.
All right.
For sure. Yeah.
And shout out, if I can't shameless plug it. The halftime show turned a year old today.
Hey,
it's been a year since I've been doing the show.
Happy birthday!
I watched my first episode today, right? And the growth of the show has changed so much, and so I don't know how long y'all been doing this podcast, man, but man, keep going, keep doing this because 7 months.
7.
So yeah, man.
This is the 7th episode.
Oh, this is the 7th episode.
Yeah.
So man, I'm telling you, once you go back and look at your first episode compared to this time next year, you're gonna be like, dang, man, what was we doing? This looked horrible.
Yeah.
We sounded like or whatever. So I look at it, man, and I see the growth, and I love this. This is amazing because there's not many Titans podcasts out there that are actually for the fans. Most of them are sponsored, and they kind of get on there just to bash Tennessee and bash Titans.
Yeah.
They're not being realistic, or they're super delusional, right?
Yeah.
Titans. I've heard so many Titans podcasts. Titans gonna win the Super Bowl. No, we got to give the Titans. We got to give our fans something to look forward to, but also keep it real with our fans.
Yeah, keep it real, man. Yeah.
There's people who want to be Titans fans and people who want to love this team, but they don't want to go to a stadium. And after we done told them they're gonna go to the Super Bowl and they go out there and lay an egg. So I appreciate y'all, man. I'm always in the comment section. I've watched y'all like 2 or 3 of y'all episodes, man. Y'all keep going. I love this. I love being a part of it, man. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Dude, that is the biggest compliment you could have given me. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And we definitely motivated by you and your show, man. How you say you done grew and your growth, man. We inspired by that because we know, that's what we aim to do here. And man, we just appreciate it, man.
And anybody, I shared this to my Facebook, I shared it to my Twitter. If y'all are watching this right now, man, y'all follow the Fan Battle, Titans Fan Battle. Follow Texas BT, the Texas Fan Battle. Follow the Fan Battle Network,
AFC
man.
AFC South Fan Battle podcast.
Yeah, man, y'all follow Fan Battle Network, man. These dudes really know what they're talking about. If you don't know nothing about the AFC South or AFC South football, these dudes will get you right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Courtlandt. Where can we find you at, Flame? Let them know.
Flame Douglas on Facebook. You should need to also add the Titans Fan Battle Facebook page, and hey, just lock in, man.
That's right. And you can find me, Maximus _Titan_fan on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I mean, I'm everywhere. You can also check me out on Twitter and Facebook, Titan Fan Battle Podcast. And yeah, man, I really had a good time with you. I'm glad you were on the show. And,
man, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I was so worried when we weren't, when we couldn't hook up Monday. I was so glad you were.
I was sitting right here. I was like, man, I'm ready. And then you hit me up. I was like, hey, we can still get it done. I'm cool.
If I could only get myself out of bed, I would have done it, man.
I've been there before, man. So I'm just glad we got it done. And this is to many more to come, man.
Hey, do you mind sticking around after the show for just a second?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, everybody. We love you. We thank you. Peace out. End the broadcast.